Welcome to the Coastal Kitchen. Hi, I'm Karen Mashers, and today we're going to be making goodies for our Christmas party. The first thing we're going to do is a holiday Yule log cake, and then we're going to make some Belgian cookies. They're called Belgian lace because they got that kind of a texture. We're going to head to Roberto's so we can see Chef Dave Gundrum, and he's going to show you what he's cooking for my Christmas party. All right, let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is the Yule log cake, and this is so easy. You will love this cake. You can make it from scratch, but I'm going to show you the way I like it. Okay, 6 eggs in the big bowl, and we're going to start beating these on high. We want them to turn lemony and thick. It'll take about 5 minutes. Okay, I'm going to turn this down now. You can see that it's nice and frothy, lemon colored, and it is thickened up. Now, I'm going to put a half a cup of water in, a 1/4 of a cup of vegetable oil, and the make it easy ingredient, a super moist cake mix, and I'm using the chocolate fudge. So we're going to put that in just about a half at a time. We're going to start it on slow. All right, all in. And what we're going to do is we're just going to beat it for about 15 more seconds till everything's incorporated, and then I'm going to put it on high. We're going to beat it for about a minute. Okay, looks like everything's good here. Let's let those little beaters get everything off. Now, we're not going to use this whole mixture. We're going to use about 3½ cups. So if you want to use what's left over to make a little tiny cake or a couple of cupcakes, there'll be enough batter to do that. This cake only takes about 14 minutes to bake, but just remember, it depends on your oven, because some ovens, even though it may say 350, they're a little bit hotter than that. All right, I'm going to set that right there until I get this spread out, and I'm using an offset spatula. It just makes things a little bit easier. And I have already lightly greased my pan and put some parchment paper down. All right, and as usual, I tap it about twice before I put it in the oven. Gets those bubbles out. Give it a little shake, even it out. Now this is a real thick batter, so you definitely want to follow this recipe. Okay, I'm putting it in 350 oven, and we're gonna see it again in 14 minutes. Next thing we're going to do is start making the frosting for the Yule log. It's one of those things that takes about an hour, and it is absolutely the fudgiest, most wonderful chocolate frosting you'll ever put in your mouth. I've got a half of a cup of whipping cream, and I'm going to put it in the microwave, and I'm going to put it for about 1 minute, and we want it to just start bubbling. So you can just see that little bit of a boil, because we're going to put chocolate chips into it to start our frosting. All right, let's see how this is doing. Oh, it's good. It's good. See that steam rising up? Now we're going to put a cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips right in here. All right, just whisk it now to get all those chocolate chips melted. Okay, you can see how all those chocolate chips have melted, and it's time to put in another ingredient, which is 2 tablespoons of light corn syrup. And we're just going to get all that in, give it another whisk, and I like to make sure I get it all in there. Okay. Good whisk, and it's time for our flavoring. Just a 1/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla. Use that pure vanilla extract. Okay, it's starting to smooth out now, and the next step is to put this in the refrigerator and let it set for 15 minutes. Then we're going to go back and stir it some more. We're going to take a short break, have a word from our sponsor, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
How Mom plus Charlotte Electric plus Maytag equals one legendary apple pie. It begins with the finest ingredients kept Maytag fresh. Then, Maytag's precise baking means the flakiest, tastiest crust ever. Finally, her ultra-quiet Maytag dishwasher makes cleanup ultra easy. Mom, apple pie, and Maytag. Dependably yours at Charlotte Electric Stores.
All right, I got the icing in and I think the cake is ready, so let's get this out. Ooh, nice and warm. Yes, let me do a quick check. Springs back, so we're good. And I'm gonna bring this right over here. We've got a couple little things we've gotta do before we take it out. Number one, I've got some powdered sugar, and you can use about a tablespoon, or you can do like I'm doing, just sprinkle some on the top. And then I'm going to put a tea towel. You can use a flour sack, a towel, and we are going to put it right over the top. I'm going to slide this under the bottom of the pan, and we are going to turn it over. Right on my cutting board. All right, let's get this out. Okay. Now, all we have to do is take off our parchment paper. So I'm going to go for a corner, and I'm going to gently pull back. And you want to make sure that you do this very cautiously because you don't want to split the cake. All right, that's done. Now, make this comfortable for you. I'm just turning it around so I can roll the cake. Just take the end of the towel and position your hands to where you can make a tight roll, and make sure that you keep pushing both the center and the outside edges. And just keep rolling, nice and slow. And go all the way to the end. And then we are going to let this cool. And it takes about an hour to cool. You can put it in the fridge if you want to, and that speeds it up a little bit, but we're going to put this in the fridge right now.
A security system used to be a simple alarm. Today, it's how we connect with our home. ATMC Security's smart home solutions help you protect and control your home, wherever you are. Lights, locks, garage doors, and more.
New Geo services react automatically based on where you are, so your house knows to adjust the thermostat and turn lights on before you arrive.
Combine smart home solutions with 24/7 emergency monitoring for one great low price. ATMC Security. Safeguard your home.
Welcome back. Now we're ready to do our filling for our Yule log. Now this is real easy. It's just a classic buttercream, and I've got 8 tablespoons of butter, and this is at room temperature. So I'm just going to slide it right in there, and we are going to start creaming it. Real fast, real easy. Okay, I have 6 cups of confectionery sugar, powdered sugar. And I'm gonna add a couple big tablespoons in, and we're gonna keep the beaters at low because we don't want that powdered stuff to go flying. And it's doing it anyway. We're gonna pour in a little bit of milk, and I'm using whole milk. And I've got 2/3 of a cup to use, and if it's wetter than I want it to be, I won't use all that. All right, we're coming up to the last little bit. Stick that right there. And I'm gonna add just a little more. This is not gonna take the full 2/3 of a cup because I like the consistency I'm getting now. And I'm gonna stop this and I'm gonna put in my vanilla. Now, this is 2 teaspoons of vanilla, so you will really taste the flavor. You know, with this recipe, you can also make a cream cheese frosting. You could make this chocolate if you wanted. It's just the way you like it. Okay, you can see the thickness of the frosting. So we're gonna get some of that off those beaters. Stick this right here and give it a couple twirls with this spatula. All right, let's just put this over here, and I'm gonna make a little bit more room, just set that aside and get my roll out of the refrigerator. Now, let's take a look at this. What I want to do is I want to push the front end forward and bring this side back. Okay, see how that is right there? Isn't that great? Now it's time for the filling, which is our buttercream frosting. Okay, I'm gonna put some in a couple of different places, and I'm gonna add from here. Again, I'm taking a larger offset spatula, and I want to just spread this almost to the sides and all the way down to the bottom. Leave a little bit of space between the front edge because you don't want things to come all the way out. Okay, now this is the fun part. We roll it back up. So just keep your hands in position, and we're gonna pull that real close right there. And all I'm gonna do is take this spatula and scrape a little bit of that out of the edge. Now we're gonna put this on the serving dish that you'd like to put it on, or you could put it on a cooling rack and ice it there. But I'm gonna go ahead and put it on a platter. So let me grab my platter. Okay, I'm gonna move this out of the way, and I am going to put this cake right on my platter. And I'm going to turn it so my cut side is down. Just make sure you could straighten it up here a little bit. And I'm gonna take my icing and I'm gonna fill in the edges. Just fill in the edges. And if you want, at this point, you can put this back in the fridge and let it set up a little bit. But we're gonna go ahead, since we have been doing our icing in the refrigerator and it's ready, we're just gonna go ahead and ice it now. Take a look at this. It looks almost like fudge. It is creamy and smooth and glossy. So we're gonna let that sit for just about 3 minutes. Okay, we're ready to put this on the cake now, so let's get started. What I like to do is I like to take a little bit of this icing and start on the side and just let it drizzle down. And I'm going to start on the other side, do the same thing. Now we want a nice, smooth, back and forth stroke. I want it to look almost like the layers of the bark. You can see how that's all of a sudden resembling a log. Okay, you can see how I've shortened up my strokes And we're gonna finish this off. I need a fork, and I will show you what we're gonna finish it with. I want you to just drag the fork, the tines, across the icing. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish this, and I'm gonna put it in the fridge, let it set. It takes about 10 minutes before I'm gonna put it in the fridge, but I'm gonna let it set, and then I'm gonna finish with my final decoration so you can see it all done. So we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Stay connected with your community channel. Like ATMC TV on Facebook today.
All right, it's time for lace cookies, and these are the easiest cookies you'll ever make. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is put a half a cup of rolled oats in a bowl, half a cup of all-purpose flour in the same bowl. We are going to put 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, and we're gonna mix that up right now real quick. All right, let's put some sugar in. And that's also half a cup. So this real easy half a cup. Just get it all mixed up together. Now we're gonna do our melted butter. And I have already melted it in the microwave. It takes about 30 seconds, so I'm gonna put it in this bigger bowl. I'm going to take some vanilla extract, and we're gonna put that in. All right, that vanilla extract is mixed in real well to the butter. Now I'm putting in 2 tablespoons of light corn syrup. Get that in real fast. And I'm gonna put in 1/3 cup of heavy cream. So we've got that in. And let's just give this a nice turnaround. Get it nice and incorporated. Doesn't take much. Okay, now we're gonna add in our dry mixture. And I'm gonna just pour a little bit in. Whisk. That is all the ingredients. So I'm just gonna make sure that everything is nice and wet. And I've got my oven is 350. And these are gonna go in the oven for between 8 and 10 minutes. As I said, depending on how hot it gets. You want the edges golden, and you want them to be uniform. So let's get these out on the pan. Now all I have is a cookie sheet that I have put parchment paper on, and you need about a teaspoon for each cookie. So all I'm taking is a teaspoon, and I'm gonna use my other spoon to push it out. And I'm gonna finish these, pop it in the oven, and they should take 8 to 10 minutes. All done for the first batch. I'm gonna slide these in the oven, and we will get them out as soon as they're ready. All right, this didn't take long at all. Let's take a peek. Oh, they are perfect. Look at that golden edge. So pretty. Well, we're gonna let them sit for just a few minutes to cool down. I'm gonna run to Roberto's, and we're gonna see how to make 2 great dishes. So I'll be back after I put everything together. See you at Roberto's.
How Mom plus Charlotte Electric plus Maytag equals 1 legendary apple pie. It begins with the finest ingredients kept Maytag fresh. Then, Maytag's precise baking means the flakiest, tastiest crust ever. Finally, her ultra-quiet Maytag dishwasher makes cleanup ultra easy. Mom, apple pie, and Maytag. Dependably yours at Charlotte Electric Stores.
Well, hello, Chef Dave Gundrum.
Karen.
How are you?
Fabulous. Great to see you today.
I am so happy to be in Roberto's kitchen.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to cook for you again today.
I'll tell you what,
You ready
I
for the
can't
big
wait
party?
for the party.
Oh,
I can't
all
wait. You're going to show us a couple of the dishes.
Yep, I'm going to start off with the first one of 2 dishes that we're making tonight. I'll start off first with the chicken marsala. It's going to be a classic chicken marsala, which anybody can make at home. Of course, we're making it for your party tonight. We'd start off, get your pan warmed up, which takes about a minute here. There we go. Start off with about 2 tablespoons of butter. Put that in your pan.
Does it matter whether you use salted or unsalted butter?
I would go with unsalted because that gives you a chance later to add salt, depending on the ingredients. Because I thought the flour that I dredge my chicken in has salt and pepper in it. So I got a little salt there. So I usually just do the salt and pepper at the end. But whatever you have at home, most people are going to have salted, so it doesn't really matter. So it takes a minute for that butter to melt. So have you started your cakes and all the desserts already yet, or?
Oh yes, we have gotten some things done at the house, and I'm ready.
Are
I'm
you
just
ready?
ready to come and enjoy myself.
All right, the butter's just about melted. You go ahead and put in your chicken. I've got about 5 ounces of just thin sliced chicken breast, which I dredged in flour with a little bit of salt and pepper in it. Of course, you're going to want to use bigger servings at home, but this actually is just for one. All right, here it sizzling a little bit. We'll get a little more salt, pepper on it. I don't see any pepper in there. Now you don't want it on really high temperature. I only like it about 3/4 flame or medium, and let it start to lightly brown or lightly cook in the flour. And just when you see the edges, which only takes like a minute, 2 minutes at the most, go ahead and do your first turn. And I call that on the turn. And on the turn, it's allowing that flour to kind of cook in with the butter, and that's really what starts your thickening roux.
Right.
So then when you do that, I go ahead and I add in the onions, which is just a diced onion. I use a Vidalia onion. They're always a little sweeter, and you don't have to worry about them being bitter.
I really like the flavor
Vidalia.
that it gives you. You know it's there, but it's not overpowering.
All right, and the sweetness they add to a dish is nice, especially with the Marcella. This way, some basic sliced white domestic mushrooms. You see how easy this dish is. I mean, and it's quite impressive.
It really is, and it just tastes so good.
And I have to make it for like 100 tonight, so I'll be doing a lot of these.
That's right.
So now turn the chicken over, leaving the vegetables underneath. And you see the browns coming on the chicken. So now it's nice and hot. And there's our flame.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. Makes for a nice picture there too. Now you let it go ahead and cook all that alcohol off. All right, then I need a little chicken stock, Chef David. Do I have that? Adding some fresh chopped parsley.
Let me introduce Chef David Cross. He is a very integral part of the operation here at
He
Roberto's.
does all the work around here, and I
There
do
you
most of
go.
the show and the cooking. Do I have it? Oh, that's my, oh, here's my chicken stock right here. I thought it was white wine. All right, so I'm adding the chicken stock. I got the temperature turned up. I've got the parsley in there, so I'm just about done. Now what I'm gonna let it do now, it takes a couple minutes. I'm gonna let it simmer down. So we'll let that on a medium heat. You wanna turn it down a little bit and just let it sort of reduce down and soften everything up. So can I have the tray for the scampi?
Let me get
Please,
that for
Karen.
you. Ooh, look at those lovely shrimp.
Yep, those are, we got fresh white shrimp, capers, tomatoes, lemon juice, stuff that's easily found in the grocery store. So we're gonna start with butter again on this one, about the same amount, 2 tablespoons. Now this is just a classic scampi, but I have one twist to it. I add capers to it, so it's almost got like a little ricotta feel.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah, people like that in that. Oops.
I love capers.
So we get our butter melted, and we go ahead, we got some extra virgin olive oil. I go with the light virgin olive oil because we don't want to use the dark greener one because it's a little too strong, so I go with the light extra virgin. Get that in there. That's melting pretty quick. And go right in with the shrimp. I mean, this dish is so easy. Just get them stirred in. Now the Marcella is starting to look good already. See, when you see the little bubbles that kind of almost look like they're foaming up around the side, that means it's starting to thicken up a little bit for you. And Chef David, warm up that pasta for me, please. So then we'll go ahead and add the tomatoes in. Some fresh parts. This is just a diced Roma tomato. You can use just any tomato you have. You can even use sun-dried tomatoes if you want. But I just use a fresh Roma tomato right now. I have 2 slices of lemon. Gonna squeeze that in there. You want to go ahead and drop the whole lemon in there because the rind has the oil and a lot of the lemon zest flavor will come into it. And I've got a little white wine. You can use Chardonnay, any white wine you have. Just throw a little, 2 tablespoons of that in there. Go ahead and throw in your capers. Now the capers are available at the grocery store. A lot of people aren't familiar with them, but they're just a pickled flower bud.
Right.
And it's kind of neat how they do that. Now we can actually, I'm not going to use it. Mix that in, touch of salt and pepper, and that's just about done too. So now I want to go ahead and bring back down our chicken marsala. Let the scampi sit up here for a second. Now it's starting to thicken up pretty good, reduce down. So all we're going to do now is add extra heavy cream to it. Okay, we'll just add about 3 ounces of heavy cream to it. Roll that for 1 second. And there we go. Stir that in. Now all we have to do is let this thicken up. It's got a nice brown color to it. It'll darken up a little bit.
Right. Now, as far as the chicken marsala, what pasta do you recommend to accompany that?
You can go with any pasta of your preference, but I like a flat pasta. Either we here at the restaurant, we serve it with a fettuccine. You can use like a bow tie pasta. You can use any pasta you want, but with the cream sauce, you want it to be able to coat it. So I recommend, my favorite using this is a fettuccine.
The fettuccine.
Or bow tie, which are nice pastas. Now the scampi's almost done too. I'm gonna switch out again here. Your shrimp are all turning nice and from pink to white, with a little bit of orange on them, so they're almost done too. There we go.
It goes to show that you can cook really terrific food in a short amount of time.
Oh yeah.
And as long as you use good ingredients and have the flame, you can do it.
Yep.
Here, I'll move
all right,
this
here we
in.
have, so I got a plate of vermicelli, which is a thin spaghetti. Turn that flame off so I don't burn myself. And just a little bit of noodles on the side there. So there's the scampi. That's one dish. Now here for this one, we got the fettuccine. We got a fettuccine ready to go. 30 seconds. And we'll have that done. I don't know, we're into this, what, 4.5 minutes? 2 dishes are done. So it's not too bad. All right, so that's done too. So we can just go ahead, pour that over the dish. There you go, there's a classic chicken marsala. Smells delicious.
How wonderful.
I'll give that to Chef David too to go ahead and garnish that. And that's our presentation. There's the scampi with a little parsley done up on it. And on the count, I like to use the 21 or 35 count shrimp, but I like to use like 10 of them, so you have a nice plate full of them. And there you go. That's what we'll be serving your guests this evening.
Well, I think it's wonderful, but you know what? I need a fork. Because I have got
Chef
to
David.
try that chicken marsala.
Yeah, that's it might need a touch.
Wonderful.
If anything, it might need a touch of salt and pepper, and that'd be about it.
Well, it absolutely is fabulous looking. I know that all of our staff are going to have
I'm excited. It's going to be a great time.
Marvelous time. Let me grab a, let's see, a little bit of fettuccine.
It'd be hot. Is it good?
Oh,
enough,
wow.
Enough marsala? All right.
Wow,
I'm glad you're
absolutely
enjoying it.
fabulous. Well, we really appreciate you letting us come into your kitchen here at Roberto's.
It's not as nice as your kitchen, but I kind of always admire your kitchen, which all the people who watch your show knows how beautiful that kitchen is.
Well, we are blessed to be able to come here this evening and have our Christmas party.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, and we'll do this again sometime.
Sure. Thank you very much.
I have had so much fun today. Take a look at this Yule log, how it turned out. I made some meringue mushrooms, and you can find that recipe on our Coastal Kitchen Facebook page. I put some powdered sugar just to top it off. There are beautiful lace cookies, and we've even got some cookies for me. I got some cookies and milk. So I'm going to keep that over here until I'm ready to say goodnight. We have had a wonderful time with Chef Dave at Roberto's, and we hope you and yours, whatever holiday you celebrate at this time, have a very Merry Christmas, safe holiday, and we'll see you next year.